You may have heard people talking about NFT.
What the hell's an NFT?
In February alone, NFT sales hitting $340 million.
Non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, are exploding in popularity.
The art world just turned upside down with the sale of this digital collage.
Nearly $70 million.
It's a picture of a cat, and apparently somebody bought one for $100,000.
NBA Top Shot is basically like trading cards on the digital side.
I dropped $1 million on digital images. PNGs, bro.
Last week, Logan Paul made over $5 million selling digital trading cards of himself.
This is Jenkins. He's an NFT, and he was born on April 30th, 2021.
If you look at him, he's a valet. He's got a valet hat, he's got a valet vest. If you go to like a nice club, this is the ape that would be standing outside.
And today he has a Twitter following of over 20,000. He also has his own Discord channel and his own NFT token, the Writer's Room NFT. And in September 2021, it was announced that Jenkins will be represented by the CAA. That's the global talent agency that reps the likes of Beyonce, Biebs, U2, Madonna, and many more. Jenkins is ape number 1798, one of 10,000 apes from the NFT project called Bored Ape Yacht Club, or BAYC. BAYC tokens were originally priced at 0.08 ETH. That's around $300 at the time. And recently, one of the apes sold for $3.4 million.
Almost instantly, profile pictures across social media were switched to the colorful apes. The hashtag #ApeFollowApe began trending immediately. You ape, me ape, ape friend.
You can see all the different traits that exist, just how many apes have that trait. So 406 apes have cheetah fur. It's kind of a badass DMT cyborg ape combination. The lowest price you can get any ape on the market with cyborg eyes is 8.25 ETH.
BAYC was developed by 4 dudes, whose real names we actually don't know. They wanted to represent a club for people who got rich quick on crypto by aping in. And celebrities have hopped on the bandwagon too. There's Steph Curry, Post Malone, Jimmy Fallon,
I bought an ape,
Lil Baby, and this guy. Collecting these apes are like tickets to a whole new lifestyle. The founders have been very creative and thoughtful about building out perks for the community. There was a dog drop called Bored Ape Kennel Club. There was a mutant ape drop. On October 1st, they had their first Ape Fest, where token owners united in person in New York City. They've also got a limited time video game, and further down the line, the founders see a world where your apes show up in the metaverse, like in popular games like Fortnite. Perhaps more interesting are the various offshoot projects that have come about. Timbaland announced his latest venture, Ape In Productions, an entertainment company that will promote Bored Apes as successful music artists in the metaverse. There's also the Bored Ape Salon, a derivative ape service for beautifying other Bored Apes. And Rolling Stones magazine recently partnered with the Bored Apes to make a collectible zine, and it only printed 2,500 copies. As for Jenkins, he's writing a book now. In fact, he's commissioned 10-time New York Times bestselling author Neil Strauss to write the debut novel, in collaboration with token owners who will get to vote on elements of the story. So, critics will look at this social movement and ridicule it. They'll say there's no real value, it makes no sense, or they'll see it as yet another example of an old boys club or a tech bros club. But for those who value it, they see themselves as part of a global hub for what they believe are some of the most tech-savvy and forward-thinking individuals on the planet.
There's all these people in here that just come here and talk. They help each other out. They help people find a place to live or find a job. It's just a group of people that have really come together to lift each other up. 2021 definitely needs more good vibes, and I've been really excited to see that positivity from all the people in the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Axies are another example of NFTs, but with a twist. Axies are character in an online game called Axie Infinity, made by a company called Sky Mavis. Sky Mavis saw exponential growth this past year and was recently valued at more than $3 billion. Axies are now the single most valuable collection of NFTs. And it's one of the first games to have created a real economy. Unlike traditional games, where many actions take in-app currency that mean nothing in the real world, Axie uses its own cryptocurrency. Here's how Axie Infinity works.
If you want to play Axie Infinity, the first thing you have to do is purchase 3 Axies. And after you have your 3 Axies, then you get to participate in the Axie Infinity game.
These can be directly purchased, like a Bored Ape NFT, and they cost about $350 each today. Here's where it gets a little more complicated. Players use the game's own cryptocurrency called Smooth Love Potion to do actions like breed more Axies. These tokens can be traded on decentralized exchanges for other tokens like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and that allows users to actually cash out their winnings to spend in the real world. And this is called play to earn. And guess who's playing this game? 40% of Axie Infinity's players are based in the Philippines, and there's a growing number in Venezuela. These are countries whose economies have been hit hardest by the pandemic.
We are creating new types of jobs. We're starting to see many types of work automated away. We need to figure out what are the types of opportunities that are going to be accessible on a global scale to anyone, anywhere in the future. And believe it or not, gaming is going to be a huge aspect of that equation.
Today, new businesses have formed around Axie Infinity.
Axie University, our main focus at the moment is to provide scholarships so they could actually earn for themselves, especially for those who are really affected by the pandemic.
You see, buying 3 Axies is quite expensive. So scholarships will loan the Axies to players and take a portion of their in-game winnings. And the game also began selling virtual plots of land as NFTs. As recently as November 2021, a Genesis piece of plot was sold for $2.3 million. Like all economies, there are potential dark sides to the fun and profit. Is this a new version of sweatshops in the new Web3, where richer overlords control the assets and exploit the poor to grind on their behalf? But the benefits are also clear. Axie Infinity has already provided a platform for people to earn a living when they would otherwise be left out of the Western world's economic and technological progress. A truly borderless economy. So what else are NFTs being used for? Some of the earliest mentions of NFTs are in the digital collectibles space, like the sale of many OG memes. Bad Luck Brian sold for $36,000. Disaster Girl sold for $500,000. And the famous Doge, who inspired Dogecoin, sold for an insane $4 million. And the sellers can cash in on their notoriety too. For example, Disaster Girl plans to use the money to pay off her student debt. Musicians are joining the NFT train too.
NFT music is going to shake up the music industry. It is going to take the power away from the record labels and put the power back into the hands of the musicians.
Already seen a growing list of startups targeting the space of blockchain as a distribution method for music. Jay-Z, Mark Cuban, Ashton Kutcher, and others have already invested nearly $100 million.
Kings of Leon, the Grammy-nominated rock band, became the first band to release an album as an NFT and generated over $2 million of sales. Here's how that worked. The album itself, it was still released everywhere on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, but the NFT version offered extra perks,
including things like lifetime front row tickets. Look at this. Okay, welcome to the best concert experience of your life, the Golden Ticket Collection. For life, the Legacy KOL NFT allows the holder to redeem a pair of front row tickets to any Kings of Leon headline show anywhere in the world. A luxury SUV is at your disposal for the night up to 8 hours, and your on-site concierge coordinates all aspects of the arrival, assuring it's hassle-free.
As you can see, NFTs can allow artists to control their interactions with fans like never before. And fans are incentivized too, because they can share in the upside of their favorite artists.
With Opulus NFTs, you can actually embed a share of your track's future earnings in any NFT you sell on the platform, and then your fans can receive part of the earnings, creating a brand new ecosystem where artists and fans can earn alongside each other and support each other. And this is all through NFTs.
NFTs will also change the landscape for writers. The current business model for writers leaves them at the whims of social media platform dictatorships. And the era of free content has incentivized shallow, clickbaity content, whatever will drive advertising revenues. Writers and content creators are looking for another way. Mirror.xyz is a platform where writers writers can set up essays and stories as the NFTs, which can be continuously traded to keep earnings on the writer's behalf. One example is the essay token. This is a crowdfunded token for an essay NFT by John Palmer. Participants will now own a portion of the essay, and their essay token can be bought, sold, or redeemed for ETH, introducing a new way for writers to monetize content that's both meaningful to themselves and their core audience. But before you rush to buy NFTs, let's talk about the risks. Today, there's a lot of commercially exploitable hype. When every brand and corporation is jumping on the bandwagon with an NFT strategy, we get a scenario where more people are making NFTs than buying them. And that smells a lot like speculation. When there's a lot of excited money involved in an unregulated space, the bad charlatans flood in too, looking to scam the ignorant.
I've seen how much fraud there is and sophisticated sort of social engineering goes into some shadowy corners of the world of NFTs, say with people posing as customer support in Discords and then taking snapshots of people's QR codes and being Jason Bourne in my physical and digital life on every level is a scale and scope of responsibility that I don't really want.
There will be people buying NFTs without understanding the legal rights, or should I say the lack thereof. NFT owners often don't own the copyrights or the trademarks for the associated art or media, and many people overlook this. There's also the risk for user error. People have to navigate how to set up a wallet or own private keys or know which apps to trust. Here's the thing, all new technologies require experimentation and time before the general public can adopt it, before developers build better user experiences, before the vast majority of creators understand how to leverage these in their business strategies, before the gamers start to buy NFTs in games and experience the value of ownership. Don't let complexity get in the way of understanding a future opportunity.
The internet is 100% the most important invention of the century. And we're literally talking about how is money and power going to flow on the internet. This is such an important issue, and yet it's so misunderstood. And it's so important.
These tech journalists, for example, in 2013 even, there's this article, Why Facebook Will Never Make a Significant Profit. Famous article, Amazon.bomb. Another, NYT classic, Google's toughest search is for a business model.
Steve Jobs today would be in crypto. He'd be in crypto with all the scammers and all the criminals and all the weirdos, but at least there he'd have a space to be weird. He'd have a place to be different. He'd have a place to try new things without having to constantly answer to someone.
There's just this huge opportunity now to make every person a worker, an investor, a shareholder, an evangelist, an owner, a creator, a designer. We can fold it all into one.
With apps being built on top of it at scale, it's gonna fucking change the world, and it's gonna change in a big fucking way.
It's the wild, wild west right now. And the beauty of that is that the bounty is plenty. The grass is green, the field is yours. Determine for yourself the value of NFTs and participate wisely.